It's Maggie. Today I'm talking about Sagittarius, all about Sagittarius. The ninth sign of the zodiac. It's mutable as well as Gemini and Virgo, and it's part of the fire trigon. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius completes it. So it's very mutable, like Gemini, changeable, adaptable. Their glyph is an arrow pointed outward and upward. They can be very futuristic. Like a lot of old prophets have been Sagittarius. My father was Sagittarius, and they can oftentimes foresee the future or see future trends. They just do it. And yeah, they're very forward thinking, eternal optimists. I think all the fire signs are. Um, Especially Aries and Sagittarius. Um, yeah, like there's always tomorrow, and Sag. That's why I'm wearing red today for Sagittarius and Scorpio. Yeah, they love to adventure. They're good at philosophy. Any kind. They're very broad-minded. They make great attorneys, teachers, anything legal, world travelers, writers, anything. They can do anything they set their vision on, point their arrow to, they can accomplish. And they have a vision for the future, which a lot of the signs don't have. So um, I love Sagittarius personality, but it's the fire element. So naturally, you're attracted to your own element. You get on quite well with them. So yeah, Leo, Aries, and Sag usually get along, or at least connect, at least connect. But they're great adventurers. There were three Sagittarians in my family, and there was a lot of fighting because four fire signs, four, no, five fire signs. We had a Leo, an Aries, and three Sagittarians. You can imagine everybody wanted to be the leader or argue, but it was all in fun. It was like, and thankfully my dad was in his Sagittarius, so he was an attorney, um, very broad-minded, and he was fun because he was such an adventurer. He would take us to do fun things every weekend. We would go tide pooling, we'd go everywhere, just everywhere, because he was an outdoorsman. He wasn't um, just indoors, zoning out watching football games. So yeah, Sagittarians they like to change it up and have fun. They can also be a little bit impulsive, like all the fire signs, um, but they're known for their globe trotting. Yeah, my dad was also a globe trotter. He loved planning his next trip. Um, But even just trips like going to every beach in California or going tide pooling or going, always going, shooting that arrow, going somewhere, doing something, um, having a boat maybe, going out every weekend fishing or something like that. Yeah, but they're known for their intellect. Sagittarians are intellectuals and very smart. I know several lawyers that are Sagittarius, and they make great teachers. Whether they know it or not, they could be just wise, have wisdom, innate wisdom, and see into the future and maybe not even realize it, or maybe they do realize it, but and they share it with others, and because they've been through most of the wheel, they're they've assimilated a lot. They have a worldly view, and they're able to use that in a life of service. Either as a teacher, or philosopher, or whatever. Legal advisor, uh, physicist. Whatever they're doing, or just working any kind of work. Working in construction or whatever they're doing. because they're fire, they have incredible energy and stamina. They're ruled, they're ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is wisdom. It is wisdom. It's the god of wisdom. And so that's their buoyant personality. Jupiter is good luck, it's good fortune, it's a great benefic. So they always seem to bounce back. Yeah, they can be in a bad mood and blow up sometimes, but they get over it. Almost all the fire signs get over it pretty quick. You know, they just need to blow off steam every once in a while. But yeah, they as a rule get over it. And but Jupiter is one of the luckiest planet. It is the luckiest planet, and to be born under Jupiter, it's like being Santa Claus. They're so generous, buoyant personality, optimistic. Sure, they could be negative too, and wry, have that dry English sense of humor or whatever. You know, sarcastic. You know, can be bitingly sarcastic. Um, but at the same time, they could be, they just have Jupiter on their side. So they are extremely generous. Extremely, well, not all of them. Yeah, not all of them, but as a rule, that they're pretty generous, which is a nice thing. Whether it's with their time, not always with money, you know, it could be with their time, it could be with what they're learning about. Maybe they're knowledgeable about the stock market or about astrology or about writing or whatever it is, you know, they're willing to share it. And because they're an evolved sign, I think they're pretty evolved. Not all of them, of course, but a lot of them are, because they've been through, I mean, they just came out of Scorpio. And they're relieved, you know, if you're going around the wheel reincarnating. And not everyone believes in that, I know, but just for an example, you know, just to come out of Scorpio, it's like, whew, you know, because it's so deep in there. Um, so yeah, they're just fresh and happy, you know, happy. They kind of have a good outlook on life as a rule, but they can be negative too. You know, we all can. They could go to excess too, you know. They could, we can all do that as well, but they can go to excess in eating, drinking. They may get gout from eating too much, you know, eat, drink, and be merry. That's Sagittarius. Especially with Jupiter, and where Jupiter is, it expands. So um, to use your Jupiter for wisdom, that's why they're so good at education, you know, higher education, philosophy, law, you know, anything mutable would be good for, you know, Sagittarius, like a foreign linguist, you know, being a foreign multilinguist or something like that, because Gemini is mutable as well. That would be using communication. And Virgo also is mutable. Um, yeah, so their image it's forward thinking, you know, it doesn't sit still. And they're very restless spirit, and they get bored easily. And sometimes they'll have multiple wives, sometimes they'll be married twice. I don't know where that came from, but I read that somewhere, and I've just seen it, observed it. Yeah, sometimes maybe because they're mutable. That could be mutable. But that's another thing about Sagittarius. A lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. Um, yeah, their temper can be scary though when they get mad. They get over it, and they're serious. You know, they're dead serious. Like, say if they're a judge or cross-examining you on the stand, you know, it's like, you better give up that evidence, you know. Yeah, or you better give up the facts or whatever, testimony. Um, yeah, so the bow and arrow, you know, that's what the glyph represents, the bow and arrow. the centaur, so they're half horse and half human. Um, so that's kind of, yeah, it's like the animal nature and the higher nature. And so, that's evolution. Yeah, it's our evolution. But yeah, so the jovial nature is Jupiter. It's Jupiter, the jovial nature, the forward thinking, the good luck. They seem to have incredible good luck. Not all of them, of course. I mean, they're human, but to have Jupiter as a ruler, they're just born with a sort of a positive outlook. I think all the fire signs um, have that, but especially Sagittarius being ruled by Jupiter. Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war, so they're not. But with them, it's like there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Uh, yeah, and with Leo, they're positive too. It's, both Aries and Leo are more self-centered, but Sagittarius is outgoing. They're bringing it out to the world, and they're sharing with others, and they're knowledgeable, and they've experienced so much. They're just kind of born with this innate wisdom, and it's their Jupiter. It's their Jupiter, their ninth house placement. Uh, yeah, I mean, that glyph, the one I'm looking at is pointing up, you know, upward. It's not pointing down. So anyway, let's see what else. Oh, Mercury's in its detriment in Sagittarius, which reminds me they can also be brutally blunt. They will tell you the truth, the absolute truth, no holds barred. They just they just blurt it out and tell you it's just a fact. And they're just being frank. They're just being frank, but it can hurt people. It can hurt people, but that's just their way. That's just their way. They're just stating a fact. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you do, please like, subscribe, and share. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel.